Rain fell hard that night, cold and steady, soaking through Ethan Cole's thin jacket as he held his daughter close under the flickering light of a bus stop. It had been weeks since they'd lost their apartment, and every day felt like another battle he couldn't win. His wife had passed away 2 years ago, leaving him to raise Lila alone. She was only 7, too young to understand why her father's hands were always rough, his eyes always tired, and his smile always forced. "Daddy, are we sleeping here again?" she asked, her voice trembling. Ethan swallowed hard, forcing warmth into his tone. "Just for tonight, sweetheart. Daddy's got a plan." He didn't. He was out of options, out of luck, and out of hope. Then, a black car rolled to a stop across the street. From it stepped a woman in a long beige coat, her umbrella shielding her from the rain. She looked out of place, too polished, too graceful for this part of town. But her eyes softened when she saw the man and his child. "Excuse me," she said gently, "are you two all right?" Ethan tensed. He hated pity. "We're fine, ma'am." The woman looked at Lila, shivering and hugging her teddy bear. "She's freezing," she said softly. "There's a diner nearby. Please, let me buy you both something warm." Ethan hesitated, pride warring with desperation. But Lila's pleading eyes decided for him. "Thank you," he murmured. Inside the diner, warmth and the smell of coffee surrounded them. The woman introduced herself as Anna. She ordered soup, hot chocolate, and sandwiches for them. As they ate, she listened to Ethan talk, how he worked odd jobs, how he'd lost his wife and apartment, how all he wanted was to give his daughter a better life. She didn't interrupt or pity him. She just listened. When they were done, Ethan tried to pay, but Anna stopped him. "Please. Let me help. I know a place you and your daughter can stay for a few days. It's safe." Ethan frowned. "Why would you help strangers?" "Because I can," she said softly. What she didn't tell him was that she wasn't just Anna. She was Anna Whitmore, billionaire CEO of Whitmore Industries, one of the most powerful women in New York. But none of that mattered tonight. She'd spent years surrounded by people who only cared about her money. This man, though poor, had something she'd lost long ago: sincerity. So Anna pretended. She said she'd recently lost her job and was staying in a small guesthouse that belonged to a friend. The truth was, that guesthouse was behind her mansion. That night, she watched from the kitchen as Ethan tucked Lila into bed and kissed her forehead. His voice was soft, full of love. It was the kind of love Anna had never known. Over the next few weeks, they became a strange little family. Anna cooked simple meals, helped Lila with homework, and laughed at Ethan's dry humor. She began sneaking away from corporate meetings to spend time with them. "Anna," Ethan said one night, "you didn't have to do all this." "I wanted to," she replied quietly. "You two remind me what life's supposed to feel like." But secrets never stay hidden. One afternoon, reporters showed up at the guesthouse. "Miss Whitmore," they shouted. "Is it true you've been living with a homeless family?" Ethan froze, his world collapsing in an instant. "Whitmore? As in, the billionaire?" Anna's throat tightened. "Ethan, please. I was going to tell you." "You lied," he said sharply. "You lied to me and my daughter." "I didn't mean to deceive you," she pleaded. "I just wanted to help without making you feel small." He looked at her with hurt in his eyes. "You made me feel like a fool. You don't know what it's like to struggle, to not know where your child will sleep next." She took a shaky breath. "You're wrong. I may have money, but I've been alone my entire life. You and Lila showed me what real love looks like." But he turned away, taking Lila with him. The story hit the news the next day: billionaire pretends to be homeless woman. People mocked her, questioned her sanity, called it a publicity stunt. She shut herself in her mansion, her wealth suddenly feeling like a cage. Weeks later, she received a small envelope in the mail. Inside was a child's drawing, Lila's handwriting, shaky but clear, "We miss you, Anna." Anna's tears fell freely. That small drawing meant more than all the fortune she'd ever owned. She found them again in a community shelter. Ethan looked wary when she approached. "Why are you here?" he asked quietly. "I came to say I'm sorry," she said. "And to thank you. You taught me what life really means." He sighed. "We don't need your charity." "I know," she said. "That's why I'm offering something else, a second chance. I bought a small piece of land outside the city. It's quiet, peaceful. I want you and Lila to have it. No strings attached." He stared at her in disbelief. "You'd give that to us?" She nodded. "Because kindness deserves a home." Months later, the land became a small family farm. Ethan managed it, Lila ran barefoot through the fields, and Anna visited often. Slowly, trust bloomed again. One evening, as the sunset painted the sky gold, Ethan found Anna sitting on the porch. "You know," he said softly, "you're terrible at pretending to be poor." She smiled. "And you're terrible at pretending you don't care about me." He laughed quietly. "Maybe we should stop pretending." She turned to him, eyes shimmering. "And be what?" He reached for her hand. "A family." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Lila's laughter echoed through the fields. The woman who once had everything, but nothing real, finally found the one thing money could never buy, a home filled with love. And for the first time in her life, the billionaire didn't feel alone.